kick in. I know it's about 7:13 p.m. We're also live on Instagram. And I'm going to make a concerted effort to go live at least once a day now. That is something that I'm going to do for 2025. That's a goal that I set for myself. So, Omar, good to see you, man. We're going to be talking tonight about 3 things that home buyers wish they knew before they started the home buying process, right? This is right up Omar's alley. And for those of you who don't know who Omar Abich is, he is the president, founder, CEO, top cheerleader, top dog over at Simple Mortgage. I'm glad that you joined, Omar, because what I'll do is I'll make sure that people have your contact information. You can look up simplemortgage.com, Omar Abich, and if you need any help with your mortgages or your loans or refinancing or home equity lines, reach out to him. He is currently on the Instagram stream as well. He's right there, Loans by Omar. His handle is at Loans by Omar. You can get a hold of him, and he'll take care of you. He's been doing this for almost 3 decades now, but you wouldn't tell by his baby face. Right, Omar? Okay, anyway, so we're going to talk tonight about 3 things that home buyers wish that they knew before they went home shopping. So I'm not talking about buyer's remorse. This isn't a downer. That's not what this is supposed to be. This is just some things that I've been going through with some of the clients that I've been working with lately and some of the feedback that I've been getting from them. So I thought, well, why don't I just cover this on an IG live, on a YouTube live, and we can cover and talk about it a little bit. And it shouldn't last more than 10-15 minutes. I'm going to be doing this on a daily basis, so I appreciate you tuning in. I appreciate you participating in this. And we'll get started probably in another 2 minutes just to give the algorithm enough time for people to log in, for people to get notified. One of the things that I've noticed about doing these live streams is that, a lot of times people will log in or they'll get the notification and they won't hop on for at least 5 to 10 minutes. And what that means is that there's a lot of 5 to 10 minutes of filler time. So I've had to learn how to become pretty good at, filling that gap between the 5-7 minutes of conversation before we actually dive in. So to do that, one of the tricks that I've learned from people is you can ask for a mic check. Yeah. The mic check isn't really just for the mic check. I figured this out. The mic check is actually so that you can ask people to participate. So if you hear the volume and if it's coming through smooth, can I get a thumbs up just to let me know before I get started, okay? And we are going to talk about 3 things that home buyers wish they knew before they started the home buying process, before they started. So this is not after they've purchased the home. This is not about the mortgage or the PITI. First of all, I'm not a lender. I am a real estate agent and a real estate broker. I don't have an NMLS license, so I'm not going to try to act like I am an expert on loans, but I do know quite a few things about the buying and selling process, so that's what we're going to talk about today. All right, it's 7:16, so I'll just kickstart it off. The first thing that most buyers gripe about when we start the home shopping process, number 1, is the amount of documentation that is required by a lender, okay? And so here's the thing. If you are a brand new home buyer and you're getting ready to start shopping for a home and you want to purchase your home, you have to be prepared for the amount of paperwork and the amount of documentation that the lender is going to require in order to pre-qualify and pre-approve you for your loan. So a good real estate agent, what they'll do is they'll probably have a buyer's consultation meeting with you. They'll sit down with you and they will prep you on all of these things that I'm covering right now. I just thought that this would be a great way to cover it online. So number 1, the amount of documentation that is required. They're going to be asking you for bank statements. They're going to be asking you for taxes. They're going to be asking you if you're self-employed for your 1099s. They're going to be asking you for an insane amount of documentation. You might as well start prepping for it now. So you're going to need bank statements. You're going to need pay stubs. You're going to need your taxes. You're going to need all of that stuff. If you are self-employed, you're going to be put through the grinder even more. Grinder? Anyway, you're going to be put through that even more. So it's very, very important that you keep all of your paperwork, you keep all of your documentation, anything that's related to your income and documenting your income, you're going to need to have it handy. So there's a lot of times where, and it's not only just income, we're also talking about assets. So, I had one client who recently was purchasing a property, and they had a ton of money in the stock market, in futures, and in crypto. And so the lenders, for whatever reason, and by the way, this client was a doctor, so it wasn't a question of did he have the income or did he not have the income. He had the income. He was more than qualified, but they still wanted to review all of his assets, including his crypto and how he got the crypto and when he purchased the crypto and all of that stuff. So it was, needless to say, he was very frustrated because he felt like that shouldn't even have been a topic of discussion, considering the fact that just by his salary and his income alone, he more than qualified to purchase the property, but they were still asking about the crypto because he basically put it in as one of his assets. So just keep in mind that anytime you do that, they're going to be asking about it. As they want to know where the income is coming from. If you have any crazy deposits that come up out of the blue, out of thin air, and it's not something that is familiar, or it's not something that's consistently deposited, they're going to call that out too. Lenders are going to call it out. They're going to want to know, hey, where did this $20,000 windfall come from? How did you get this? How did you earn it? What did you do? Did you win the lottery? Did you place a bet in Las Vegas? They want to know where those deposits are coming from. So, yes, Frankie, the glove don't fit. Actually, that would be applicable today. I don't know if you guys heard, but A$AP Rocky got acquitted. So, good on him. Anyway, so you're going to need to document all this stuff. It has to be documented. Just be prepared. Go in there understanding that if you're going to buy a home, they want to know all of your income. They want to know all of your assets. They want to know how you got it. They want consistency. That is really what they want to see. They want to see consistent deposits. And anytime there is a deposit, that comes out of the blue, it's out of the ordinary, it's not something that is regularly deposited. To most people, that looks great. You're thinking to yourself, this is wonderful. I just deposited. I made a large deposit. I got it, XYZ way. There shouldn't be a problem. And yet, they will question it. They will want you to document how you got it, where you got it, what you did to get it, and all of that stuff. So just be prepared for the amount of paperwork that is going to be required in order to purchase the home. And, there's a lot of times where I'm having to calm the client down and I'm just having to explain to them, don't worry about it. It's just part of the process. Just get the paperwork. You'll be fine. So just be prepared for that. Second thing is the amount of offers that you may have to make when you're going out there and you are buying a home, okay? The truth is you're probably not going to get the home that you want just on your first offer, okay? Does it happen? Yes. Can it happen? Yes. Is it likely to happen? Probably not, okay? Most people aren't going to get their home just based on the first offer that they send out. It's very, very rare. In some cases, it does happen and everybody's happy and everybody's excited, but most of the time, you're going to have to submit more than one offer to get your home, to get your property. That's just the nature of the beast. This isn't, like an automobile purchase where you can just walk into the dealership, you know which car you want, you purchase it, you buy it, and you walk off the lot. Or you drive off the lot with your vehicle. This is a very, very large purchase. So, just be prepared that you're probably going to have to make multiple offers. Now, depending on the market, right? If it's a seller's market and you've got overbids and you've got all these people competing for it, then it's going to be even more stressful. Now that the market has changed and it's not quite a buyer's market, but it's definitely a more level playing field, right? It still means that you might have to submit a few more offers. Why? Because you may have some sellers with some unrealistic expectations, meaning they still think that their property is worth what it was 2, 3, 4 years ago, and they're having to deal with that reality. And so you still may have to make more than one offer, even though the market and the playing field is a little bit more level. So be prepared for the number of offers that you might have to make. Just expect that you may or may not, you're probably not going to get it on your first attempt just by submitting the very first offer. All right, next one. The number of people involved. This is another thing that people need to be prepared for, okay? Yes, you have an agent, but you've got an agent, you've got a lender, you've got an underwriter, you've got a transaction coordinator, you got the buyer's agent, you got the buyer's broker, you got an escrow agent, you got a title officer, you got a home inspector, you've got all these different people that are working on this one transaction to facilitate it, to make sure that it's as smooth as possible. But because you've got all these different people that are involved and all these different personalities, it can drive you nuts. And not only can it drive you nuts, but a lot of the times as a buyer, you start to wonder, who is my main point of contact? Who should I be working with? And, you know, especially with the agents that do have large teams and they do large volumes, a lot of times what they'll do is they'll pass the baton on either to their transaction coordinator, who is then going to coordinate everything, and then they maintain communication with the transaction coordinator and the lender. But if they have a question, they want to make sure that the agent answers the question. So there has to be some type of a chain of command as well. So I think another thing that buyers tend to gripe about is the number of people that are involved in the entire transaction, and understanding whose role, what role they have in the entire transaction, but still maintaining the primary point of contact as the agent that's representing them, okay? That's another thing that I've been hearing a lot lately. Okay, now, and lastly, good market or bad market, it's really all about personal timing. That's another question that I get a lot. Today we went to go have our car serviced, and one of the questions that the attendant asked me once they found out that I was in real estate was, is it a good time to buy a property right now? And the honest answer to that is, it depends, right? It depends on what your personal timing is like. If you are getting married, you have a child, and you're living in a single, right? You're going to need a bedroom for the baby. Maybe not immediately, but at some point you probably will. That's all about personal timing, right? Things change. If you have 2 or 3 children and you're living in a 1-bedroom house, you're going to need another house, right? You're going to need something larger. So irrespective of what the interest rates are, irrespective of whether it's a seller's market or a buyer's market, it is really all about personal timing. And if the timing is right for someone to purchase a new home, then they're going to buy the home. That's just the way it works. And if the timing is not right for them to buy the home, then they're not going to buy the home, right? I will say this though. The longer that someone waits to purchase a property, the more you're going to hear them say, I wish I had done this earlier. I wish I had put myself through this earlier. I wish I had put myself through all the paperwork that I had to go through. I wish I had put myself through all the offers that I had to submit. I wish I had put myself through all of the multiple personalities that are involved in the transaction. I wish I had done that earlier. Of course, there are some people that have buyer's remorse, but there are very few people that actually regret buying, a property 5 years ago, 10 years ago, definitely 20 years ago, right? Because of the equity that they've built up. It is never a truly, truly bad time to buy a property based on your personal timing, right? But I will say that the sooner that you can get yourself in your home and start building equity and take advantage of all the tax advantages that are available, the better off you're probably going to be. Now, again, going back to what I said about personal timing, sometimes it's the income, sometimes it's the amount that they have to save up, sometimes it's a credit history. It really just depends. Everybody's situation is a little different. But if you are in the market and you are looking to purchase a home, in the next 4 to 6 months, by all means, reach out to me. Shoot me over a DM. There's a bunch of different strategies that we can apply to helping you get into that home. Irrespective of what personal situation you might be in, right? There's credit repair, there's down payment assistance programs, there's all type of different strategies. You may already be pre-approved to a certain dollar amount, but there's ways where you can actually work backwards, right? Reverse engineer this, where you start looking at other homes that might be a little bit more than what you're pre-approved for, but they've been sitting on the market a little bit longer, so that it enables you to negotiate a little bit harder. You can also get sellers to help you out with the closing costs and with down payment assistance. So there's so many different strategies that you can use to help you purchase that property if it's something that you want to do, including if it's an investment property as well, right? You've got the DSCR loans. There's all types of different strategies. The key here is just finding someone that you can relate to, somebody that you trust, and somebody that you want to work with to help you do it. So it's all about personal timing. Hopefully this helped you out. I know that it was kind of surface level stuff, but what I'm going to be doing on a daily basis now is just hopping on these channels and sharing this content and this information with you. If you need to get a hold of me, feel free to DM me, shoot me a message, and we can schedule a time to talk and help you get one step closer to either buying or selling your home. All right? I appreciate you guys. Have a great night. We'll talk soon.